the King's Landing KFC. It's right across from the Chick-fil-A.
Or the Starbucks.
Hey, Internet. It's Paul. It's Matt. The Dork Lords. We're here talking about Game of Thrones, Season 8, Episode 4, The Last of the Starks. Alright, this episode begins with the funeral rites for our recently deceased.
Yes.
It ends with Missandei being executed by Cersei, and we see Daenerys' very angry reaction. I know her face is about as angry as we've ever seen it.
Yeah, a very angry face.
So that's what we're talking about.
Sure.
Last of the Starks. What do you feel like the Last of the Starks refers to? I mean, in terms of like, I'm thinking it even references that conversation that Tyrion has with Bran when he's like, you're the last male heir, so you should probably be.
Yes.
He's like, I'm not human anymore. Does not compute.
Does not
I
want
do
things.
not understand.
I have no desires except an old chair.
I live in the past, only the past. It was interesting because Bran and Arya both have chances to like accept titles or so
Sure.
Bran is like not offered but reminded, hey, by
Yes.
the way,
Yeah.
you're the guy.
Yeah.
Winterfell's yours.
Yeah.
No, I don't want it. I don't have wants, and because I'm a computer. And then Arya is given this chance by Gendry to be like, hey, you can marry me.
Yeah.
You'll be
There you go.
Storm's End.
Yeah.
This would be awesome. And she's like,
just what a woman wants to hear after the first time she has sex with somebody. Yeah.
She says that she's not. No, I'm a computer,
No,
but
she's
she's
not
like,
like
no,
that.
I'm a killing machine.
Oh.
I do not have emotions like normal people. And so...
No, she has emotions, but not like normal people.
Not like normal people, exactly. Yeah, she's not a computer, but she is a killing machine.
It's like, you might have like made that part of the pitch like, oh, you can kill somebody. How about this person?
So in both of those situations, in perhaps another fantasy story, that would have been like perhaps a plot point where it's like, and Bran became king because he was the next in line, or is like, and she married Gendry and everything was great because they. But in this situation, we see the effects that the storyline has had on the two of them.
Yes,
it would have been a huge surprise if either one of them had been like, sure, great, you're right, I'll be king of Winterfell. This will be great. Yeah, no. So effective in that way. I liked seeing how both of those characters reacted in the way that I assumed they would react in that situation, and that's cool.
Yeah.
That said, I'll mention this as it's not annoying, but it's like it's one of those. We were talking about this with the Avengers, where you're like, oh, you're going to mention something that could kill the plot, and you're upset that they didn't kill the plot. I'm about to do that with this.
Oh wow, okay.
Why are they not using Bran to like GPS man? Like, I could see so many uses for Bran. Now, we get the idea that he can't consistently see the future, but he can see the present.
Sure.
And the past.
Yeah.
But the present in particular would be incredibly useful.
Yeah, at least in this situation anyway.
Where's that Navy? Oh, they're hanging out by Dragonstone. You'll find them when you... Oh, thanks. Appreciate it.
Oh, and also, they got javelins.
Yeah, right. They're ready for dragons. Yeah. I mean, like, he would... Like, they don't ask. Maybe he would have said, I can't tell you that. But at least have that scene where he's like, I'm not helping. Because he's not helping, and he could help.
No, I mean, when...
What's going on in King's Landing right now? They've armed the walls.
They could have said, because it seems like that's the case, when he was talking to him about, I live in the past mostly, because White Walkers are dead, I don't care anymore. Take me to my tree.
Right.
What he could have said.
Wheel myself over.
Didn't somebody come along and take him?
Yeah, they did. You're right. But he had the wheelchair design. You talk about, oh, this was from...
Yeah.
100 years ago. Whatever.
Yeah, that's what gets his motor going.
Yeah, I'm just like, man, I don't know. He's such a plot killer that they could totally use him right now to get a huge advantage on the other army. But anyway, he's reconnaissance man.
Not anymore.
So there's this big funeral. a reasonable speech, funeral eulogy from John. Whatever. It's not like the most amazing speech of all time, but he gets the point across. These are people to be honored.
Yeah.
They are the
What
shields.
you weren't
It
crazy
was
with
fine.
this
I
one?
don't know. It was kind of, and we're doing this and set him up fire. But no, it was heartfelt.
Yes, it was.
It was heartfelt. Something that was a little odd to me was where did the army of the undead go? Like,
You don't think they threw him on the pyre too?
I don't think so. I think they were burning their fallen brethren. I just don't know. Like, there were
Because
like,
technically, some of them, I mean,
I don't want to see an episode where there's an entire episode of them moving bodies, but that would have taken an entire episode of moving bodies to get rid of
Probably.
all of the, I don't know,
yeah.
tens of thousands, maybe 100,000 bodies. Anyway, that's a lot of
It
work.
sounds like you actually want to see that.
I do. I want to see. Okay, move another body. Oh, now we got to build these wooden pyres. This is going to take a while. Hey guys, can we give us a couple of weeks?
Matt.
This is great. Oh, watching the people take corpses and pile them on pyres. Okay. Anyway, they got to just skip through that. We got it. Okay, fine. Something that was a surprise to me was when they're doing a count of the troops, and they're like, "We have half of our troops left." I'm like, "Do you?" The Unsullied only lost half their troops.
Yeah, only half.
What the hell were the other half doing? Shit. Anyway, so yeah. Seemed like the number
Hiding
count
under
was a
dead
little
bodies. Who knows?
weird. Yeah. So good on them, I guess. So their army was not as decimated as I assumed it was.
Right.
We talked about Missandei being executed. The other big death in the episode is Rhaegal the dragon. Gets shot out of the sky.
Yes.
And so there's one dragon left. Those were kind of the two big shock deaths.
Yes.
I'd call them both shock deaths in a way.
Yeah, sure.
By that time, Missandei's up there, it's like she's gonna die. But
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I didn't predict that she was going to
Yeah.
get. I was actually thinking, maybe he's got to dive to catch her in the water. He's got to rescue her.
yeah.
No.
Nope.
No.
No. Yeah,
No.
Grey Worm. Add to the shock value is that Grey Worm's still alive.
Yes.
it's
That's why he had to
who
live,
died.
so that he could see Missandei die.
Yeah.
And
Firsthand.
So how many episodes do you think he's got left?
I think he's probably got 5 episodes
He
left.
loves to predict death.
True. I usually do like to predict when characters are going to die, if characters are going to die. And I had Grey Worm
If and
pegged.
when.
If and when. I had one of that pair, Missandei Grey Worm, pegged to die, and I assumed it would be
But
Grey
earlier,
Worm because
yes.
he's going to be in a lot of combat.
Right.
It makes sense. Now that she's dead, I guess I'm not 100% convinced anymore. I think there's a chance Grey Worm survives the series. Although, I'd say the odds are he has nothing left to live for. He lost his true love. He's angry.
Right.
He's going to go out fighting. Like he's
Sure,
going to just
yeah.
kill as many as I can before I go, kind of thing. Perhaps. That's
What the odds that he will avenge the death of his love by killing Cersei?
I think 0%.
Okay. Sorry, Grey Worm.
Sorry, Grey Worm. In fact, I think the big battle is going to happen next episode. So, if he's gonna die, it's probably next episode.
As foretold by the prophecy, the brother will.
All right. So yeah, let's
for a rather broad definition of a brother.
right. let's jump then to Jaime as we're talking prophecy.
Sure, why not prophecy? Sure,
The prophecy that's not in the show, but
No,
in
it's
the
not in
book.
the show. In the book. In the book.
So we have Jaime. There's a big drinking game going on.
Yes.
Would I ever, or have you ever, whatever. So you have to drink if you've done the thing.
Yes.
It's like a truth or dare.
Yes, it
essentially.
is. Truth or dare. Game of Thrones style.
Interesting. So it's Tyrion's like, you're a virgin.
Yeah.
And interestingly, Podrick takes a drink, because he's always had the reputation as like, he's the ladies' man. Podrick, he's with the ladies. So it's kind of interesting that perhaps that's like more of a folk tale than an actual truth. But in any case, it's obvious that Brienne has not had a sexual experience before.
No, never.
She decides, I'm just going to leave.
Yes.
Tormund tries to show up, and Jaime's like, you back. And Tormund gets all sad.
Yes, he does.
That was an odd scene a little bit. It was a little awkward. Tormund gets rejected,
He does.
essentially. And
He
he's
does.
like,
And he finally takes it in.
yeah, exactly. He finally takes it in. Good point. He's usually like stubbornly ignorant about it.
Right. But you could argue that it was the first time that she overtly showed interest in him.
Okay. All right. So in any case, Jamie and Brienne do have a sexual encounter.
They do. That's right. At least two.
At least two. Good point. And so, and Jamie's like, I'm staying behind. When they're all like, we're going to go and fight.
Yes.
And he's like, I'll just stay here. And, at least one reason would be because Brienne's staying there. Why not? So that's his decision for a while until he hears that one of the dragons has been killed.
Yes.
And, events are turning south, and suddenly there's going to be a huge, it looks like a big battle.
Yeah.
And so he decides to leave. Now,
yes.
Brienne catches him as he's, getting the saddle on the horse.
Sure.
And she's like, don't go.
No, yeah, she's very upset about it.
And he's basically like, you think I'm a good guy, you're wrong.
Yeah.
Here's all the things I did for Cersei that are horrible. Push the dude out a window, paralyze him for life.
Yeah. It's not you, it's me.
I was gonna kill an entire town was gonna, but didn't, actually. Whatever.
For Cersei. All for Cersei.
All for Cersei. I'm just as bad as she is,
yep.
And so I'm out of here. I'm going to go to Cersei.
Yes. No.
She's very sad.
Incredibly sad.
So what do you make of that scene? What is his intent in that moment?
I think I heard some people frustrated with perhaps him not being more explicit or expressing exactly what his intention is. I'm okay. I assume he's going back to help this finish off Cersei. That's what I assume.
I think so. I mean, I do think he's speaking his mind when he says, I'm a bad person. Yes. I do feel like he has self-loathing, that he is acknowledging that he's done some terrible things, and he doesn't believe he's a good person.
Yeah.
People like Brienne. I mean, Brienne is one of maybe the most moral character in the show.
Perhaps.
And the fact that she loves him, it says something about his character,
does.
right?
Yes,
that she sees something good in him, but he doesn't necessarily see that in himself.
Yeah, she's certainly the most moral, warrior. I guess perhaps excluding Jon, right? Because Jon's pretty moral, and he's a warrior.
Okay.
But most of the other ones are very...
Yeah. The Hound.
The Hound.
Great.
And,
Arya's pretty psychopath at times.
Yeah, and who's running around with the crossbow? That's
Bronn.
Bronn, yeah, is... Oh.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk about the Bronn scene. I don't know how that really played for me, but anyway.
Yeah, I agree.
But yeah, so Jamie has said, decided, I'm going back to King's Landing. I think his purpose here is certainly not to get back together with Cersei. I mean, that's not he's now that he's also had sex with Brienne, and I think
you think it was that good?
I think that's his love interest now, and it's not a I'm going to go and shack up with Cersei again.
Yeah.
I think his intent in this moment is not necessarily I'm going to go kill her. I think he is going to try to change her mind or somehow make her, peacefully exit.
Right. But I'm going to make you predict.
But she will. But it won't work out. And so he is prepared, I believe, to kill her.
I'm going to make you predict. Will Cersei make it out of the series?
Out of the series, certainly not.
Okay, so you don't think she'll win?
I just don't know if she'll die next episode or the episode after.
Okay, I'm not going to pin you down to the episode.
Okay.
Who kills her?
Jamie.
Okay.
I think Jamie kills her.
Now, do you think... the way that they tried to fool us in the last episode looks like Jon's going to kill the king there.
Oh, sure. The Night King.
The Night King.
Which, by the way, that whole plot line is like, whoop!
Yeah, it's gone.
Moved
but, there was that moment where it's like, well, there it is. Just Jon Snow and the Night King.
And
they're going to go. No! Oh, they fooled you.
Right. And there are a lot of people that are upset with that. I mean, I'm not one of them, but there are there are people that are genuinely very upset with the fact that
If you are, speak up.
Sure. That the Azor Ahai thing didn't come to pass in that moment.
Yeah, I don't care.
Okay.
So they may be trying to set up, Arya to be like, oh, looks like she's gonna kill it.
So the Hound and Arya are on the road again. They're like they're
They can't wait to get
they're
back
road
on the road
tripping.
again.
Yay!
Yeah.
Yes. And
Like
so,
your love is making killings with my friends.
I just can't wait to get on that road again to King's Landing. His mission is obviously to take out the mountain. He didn't say it per se, but that's what he said.
That's true. It's all implied.
He's like, I have a mission.
Yes.
I have a thing. And he's got this big sword.
Yeah.
My mission is I had some debts I had to repay, and there's like there's a fish market in town. I really like that fish. I just want to get one more meal before they close it down.
I think his thing is chickens.
Okay, good point. And so Arya's
They got
like,
a great
I
KFC over there.
They do. The King's Landing KFC. It's right across from the Chick-fil-A.
Or the Starbucks.
So in case you didn't see that, there was a set goof during the big banquet scene. There is a Starbucks cup on the table in front of Daenerys. Somebody didn't move it before they shot, and so it's there. Yeah, it's a mistake. It's suspension of disbelief gets harder when there's a Starbucks cup hanging out with Daenerys. But either that, or maybe there is a Starbucks.
Yeah,
in Winterfell.
maybe that was like
they are everywhere.
The first one, and then now they will, spread across the land.
Right. This was the beginning. You just cut to you see Daenerys take a drink from it, and then it cuts to Bran. It has begun. As was foretold, the rise of the Starbuck. So yeah. Anyway, so Hound is going to kill the mountain. Arya is on the way. We assume to kill Cersei. That's her plan. I think though, having her kill the Night King and Cersei seems a bit much.
Yeah, I think you're right.
So I think that's her plan. She's going to kill, but they're going the same way.
Will she survive?
Oh man. I didn't think she was going to survive the fight with the Night King, so that shocked me. She's on borrowed time at this point.
Yeah, okay.
But yes, now I think she's going to live.
Does he survive? The Hound.
No.
Okay.
No, because there's that scene they bring it back where he says, "Oh, if I was going to die again, would you leave me?" She's like, "Probably," because that harkens back to the last time when he was dying and she left him. I think she's going to sit with him while he's dying. I think he's going to take on the mountain. It's going to look bad for him. Arya's going to come in and aid him in that fight. Together, they take out the mountain, but in the process, he's mortally wounded.
Okay, so you think she does survive?
I think she survives. He doesn't.
All right. Okay.
She gets to bring him peace in his final moments.
So you think she makes it to the end of the series?
I think so.
Okay.
I mean, I didn't think that until the end of last episode.
So, all right. So what about Sansa?
Yeah.
So what about Jon? Because in your theory...
in my theory, he does live.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So actually...
So you think
I think
none
all
of the Stark children are alive at the end of the series?
They're all alive at the end of the series.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what you think. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. At this point, I see a trajectory where all of them survive. Now, the thing about Bran is...
You have to get to your theory next.
Is Bran a Stark still, even? I mean, they lasted the Starks.
He's
but I mean,
Stark.
Does he... I'm going to guess he just goes away.
Sure.
He doesn't die, but he's like, I'm out of here.
Right.
I'm going to go back to that tree and plug myself in. But I know, because he just...
Tyrion, does he make it through?
All right, we know Varys... Okay, we're switching over here now. To Varys and Tyrion are talking. And they are... Tyrion calls it out. This is treason. We're talking treason right now. Okay. And we know for a fact, I think it's a fact, I would say it's pretty much a fact that Varys is going to die. It's been called out, it was prophesized by Melisandre. She's like, you're going to die here. Now, obviously, she could have been of old age, years from now. Well, that's the story. But I don't think that's it. I think he's going to die violently. We've also had Daenerys say to him, if you betray me, I'm going to burn you with my dragons. So I think Varys is definitely dead.
Okay.
And I think the reason he's dead is because Daenerys finds out about his treason.
Sure.
Okay. So that you could easily see a situation where Tyrion gets pulled into that same thing because
like what? The secondhand burn?
Secondhand burn. Well, like you two were plotting against me. Kill you both.
Oh. Really? You think that's how he's gonna die?
Here's what I think is kind of happened, because now they've gotten back into these political machinations.
That's true.
So it is a little tricky. I think, because what we're seeing is Tyrion has to make a choice. I believe Varys is, because Varys more or less said, if she's a problem, I'm gonna have her taken out. Sure. I mean, he didn't. He's like, I'll do whatever it takes, whatever the cost, whatever it takes. And then he did the end game, and he got a gauntlet, and he snapped. And so I don't see Varys changing his mind. I don't think Varys is going to be like, you know what? Actually, I'm wrong. Daenerys instead of Jon. Yeah, no. So I think he's fully on Team Jon right now. Mm-hmm. So it's up to Tyrion to make a choice, and somehow Daenerys has to find out that Varys is doing treason. Yeah. So here's my version. He's going to
rat him out?
I think he might rat him out.
Wow.
I think Tyrion might be like, she's in danger. If I'm really supporting this queen, I have to say,
I can see that
by the way, there's someone trying to kill you.
If he can see that he's acting on it and not just talking about it. Right. I think at this point he's not that way. But if he sees that he's trying to put something in motion, he might... Yep. Yeah, he might. Yeah.
And so in that situation, I think Tyrion survives, but he rats out Varys, who then is executed. Okay. So that's my version of that.
Now your theory, sir.
Are we talking War of the Roses?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So no secret. George R. Martin said a lot of these events are based on the War of the Roses. We've mentioned it once or twice before, but I thought now that we're at the final battle, maybe best revisit the events of the War of the Roses and see if that tells us something about how this stuff might resolve itself. So, War of the Roses fought between two houses.
Yes.
The Yorks and the Lancasters. Lannister. York, Stark. Although I would argue it's actually flipped in terms of who is in power and who isn't.
Okay.
But the house names are similar.
Sure.
For the Yorks, you had the Battle of Bosworth Field. More or less ends the War of the Roses. There's a couple of skirmishes that happen after that, but for all intents and purposes, Battle of Bosworth Field ends War of the Roses, and one family takes over and the other family is defeated. Battle of Bosworth Field. You've got Richard III, who's in power. He's the king at the moment.
Yes.
He would be your Cersei, in that he's the guy. Actually, Shakespeare turned him into a villain. History goes back and forth on whether he was actually villainous, but Shakespeare certainly made him into a villain.
Okay.
So history remembers him as villainous guy that nobody liked. He also murdered, again, probably, his nephews, these two princes. He's like, hey, they can come to the Tower of London and I'll protect them. And then they disappeared and were never seen again. And so he's willing to kill family and people for his own political ends. Okay. He becomes king. And, He also uses his banner, invokes the lions that were from I think it was a Plantagenet family originally, but became the coat of arms for England. So he's the Golden Lions, a la Lannisters. He's the king. He's brought out into battle Bosworth Field versus Henry VII. Henry VII is actually not. He's representing the Lancasters, although at this point all of the male Lancasters have been killed off. So he's a Tudor. So he's kind of from the maternal side of that family, but he's representing the Lancasters. Because their family, the Tudors, are Welsh. They have the Red Dragon of Wales on there. So it's the Red Dragon versus the Gold Lion. And what ends up happening is, in this battle, Henry VII becomes the last king to take the throne via combat, basically of England, I should say. And Richard III becomes the last king of England to be killed on the battlefield. So I think that obviously suggests that Cersei, she's not going to be fighting per se, but I think she's going to die in this battle. And I think that means that it depends on who you're saying is Henry VII. Is it Daenerys or is it Jon? Both of them are Targaryens. Both of them could have that red dragon. I think, though, that in this case, the theory holds better with it's John, because, again, it's not an exact match, but it's a pretty good match. In the Tudor family, Henry VII's grandfather, Owen Tudor, had a secret marriage to the widow of Henry V, and they had a couple of sons. One of those sons was Edmund. That was Henry VII's dad. But Edmund grew up not being like, I'm related to the king and I'm awesome. Like, he grew up without titles, without anything. It was when he hit adulthood, Parliament and the king's good graces gave him this title and the acceptance. I think it was the Earl of Richmond and all that stuff. So similarly to John having secret wedded parents, and he didn't know anything about himself, and then suddenly he's like, oh, by the way, you're king.
Sure.
So by that kind of lineage, I think the Henry VII analog would be closer to John, which means in my case, I'm thinking John is the one who ascends the throne. Interestingly, Henry VII, just to kind of smooth things over, he does a political marriage. He marries one of the York family. So he says, "Hey, losing side, let's get together." And so he has this a marriage that kind of puts things together. And for like 25 years, he rules. Of course, he does have his son is Henry VIII, who by most counts turned into like supervillain monster guy, but that's perhaps that's the sequel. Again, it's not like John's gonna marry Lannister. I don't think that's anywhere in the cards.
No.
But by maybe marrying Daenerys, maybe that's kind of a way of like a political marriage that settles the civil war strife that could be coming. It is one of the solutions that Tyrion proposes in this episode, like, hey, they could get married. And,
yes.
Varys quickly dismisses it. It's like, no, it's his aunt.
Yeah.
The Targaryens don't mind that, but the Starks sure do.
And he thinks that that Daenerys is too powerful for John, that he will overpower her.
That's true. He does think that.
And she has been bossing him around quite a bit.
I think that
he comes off as rather indecisive, I'd say.
What could change the mindset? I think Varys reads the situation correctly in this moment. That if you were to say, let's get married, John would be like, she's my aunt, I'm not doing it. But I think what could change that is Daenerys being pregnant. I think if she's going to have his kid, I think, well, I don't know what their relationship going forward would necessarily be. I think he would say, okay, fine, let's make this kid the legitimized heir, and we'll marry. That kid will be a legitimate heir. He or she is gonna be like a ruler later on, and by marrying, we'll do that. That'll be the way that they keep the kingdom together. So the only problem with that theory is that it's a kind of a happy ending. It kind of makes everything work out. Oh, and they all shook hands, and then they had a kid, and everybody was happy. Which I don't know that way this show
Well, if it
goes.
follows maybe they get married and Daenerys has the kid. And then at some point you see a 3-year-old like,
it's Damien. I'll kill all of my wives.
Yes, off with their heads.
Off with their heads.
Yeah, you get them playing with little dolls. Off with their heads. Off with their
he's
heads.
like Joffrey.
Yeah.
So yeah. Anyway, so there you go. I think if it mirrors War of the Roses, you have Jon winning the battle, Cersei dying during the battle, Jon becomes king, marries Daenerys.
Now, in that equation, it doesn't sound like there's very much for Sansa to do.
Correct. In that situation, there wouldn't be much for Sansa to do.
Okay.
So anyway, but again, it's not an exact match. He's taken bits and pieces from history and kind of
right. I'm just
weaving
saying.
them in. So who knows?
Just saying though, even if you assume that presumably they defeat Cersei. And to keep the peace, then Jon marries Daenerys.
Because it was the fact that, Henry VII was at the battle, and he was fighting, whereas, like, for instance, Sansa isn't doing the fighting, so I think that's a huge difference there.
Right.
So.
Yeah, but you're feeling like Cersei must lose, Cersei must die by the end of the series. And whether or not... you think that you think all the Starks are hanging around?
I guess I do now. I didn't think that. You made me have to consider it. I always thought the most likely Stark to die was Arya, and now I'm like, I don't know. I think she might hang in there. She got through the big test.
Yeah. It would be rather strange if, as you imagine, which sounds plausible, that the Hound will have the final battle with the Mountain, and Arya would help, but then the Hound would be mortally wounded, and then she's there. It seems rather strange if then she walks off to have another battle and then gets killed.
Right. Well, that's done. Oh! I took one of those scorpions to the chest.
Yeah.
Because you even mentioned a week or two ago when you were like, we were talking about perhaps Clegane Bowl being a thing.
Yes.
And you were like, yeah, but how could the Hound survive?
Yeah.
Your whole point was if they fought, the Mountain would just crush him. So that's a way that perhaps you're like, you have Super Fighter helping you. You could imagine a way that the Hound is victorious.
Yes.
I did like this scene too. I liked the Sansa Hound scene at the in the banquet hall when they come up and he's saying like if you'd have just gone with me, he's almost like regret.
Yes.
Almost, you could have avoided all that pain.
Yep.
She's like, well, the pain's what turned me into who I am.
Yes.
I'm not the little bird anymore.
No, she's not.
And so she appreciates who she is. Yes. But then the bit where he's like, so what did you do to Ramsay Bolton? He's like, how did you kill him off? She says, hounds.
Yeah.
And just an interesting thing to tell the Hound about how
she killed him by
I
hounds.
used that method of killing him off.
Now, like, one thing that I haven't heard speculated, that yes, her terrible experiences did help her, and obviously you wouldn't want to say it was a good...
wish that on anyone.
You wouldn't wish that on anybody. They could have raised her in the first place to not have such unrealistic expectations, so that she needed to be put out into the world the way that she was.
Yes, there were plenty of other ways you can get to that where she is without having to go through monsters. Yeah, basically. Yeah. Let's talk about the scene where maybe the most tense scene in the episode, which was Tyrion squaring off with Cersei.
Sure.
So this episode speeds along big time. Yeah. You're like, okay, and now they're back. Now they're at King's Landing already. Yeah. Like, oh, whoa, okay. But they're basically, Tyrion convinces Daenerys, hey, before we burn everybody, let's try to give Cersei a chance to surrender.
Yeah.
By the way, zero chance of success.
Oh, Daenerys clearly knows.
And she knows it. She's like, fine. We'll let her say no.
Yeah, so it looks better.
Yeah. So
it's your fault I had to kill all these people.
So they're, Cersei's up on the wall. They have the Qyburn comes out as her emissary and talking to Tyrion, and they have the little moment where they're like, hey, we want your unconditional surrender, and Qyburn's like, well, we want your unconditional surrender, and if you don't, we're going to kill Missandei, who we captured
right now.
So Tyrion then walks up to the gates.
Yes.
Well within range of the archers.
Yes.
Well within range.
Yeah, he should have put on a little target as he went up there.
And I admit, I was like, man, they could kill Tyrion in this moment.
They could.
Like I didn't think they were, but I was like, I wouldn't be shocked in this moment.
No.
And I mean, Cersei hates him.
Yeah.
She has zero compassion for this guy. He's right there. He's now, kind of getting out of etiquette a bit, right? He's She could easily be like, oh, he's a threat, kill him.
Yep. Yeah, and think about this. She, it's clearly like a standoff where it's like, if you don't do what we want to say, we're going to kill Missandei. So, boom, she kills Missandei. She could be like, and now kill him too.
Yeah.
Because it's not like he like, shit, let me get out of here. Whoa.
You're right. Because what she's saying is, I guess the idea is he's counting on this like etiquette of war thing that hey, if I'm here just to talk, you wouldn't shoot me, right?
Yeah.
She doesn't care about that, and by killing Missandei, she's like, we're going to war.
Yeah.
Like, if she shoots Tyrion, it just means, oh, we're still going to war. Yeah. Like, it really doesn't change anything other than I got rid of the guy I hate.
Yep.
So it is weird that she doesn't shoot. Then she has even more reason to shoot as they talk, because Tyrion starts trying to appeal to the fact that she's got a child. And he says, oh, that child in your belly, what kind of world will that child grow up in? Yeah. All right. I mean, in Cersei's mind, she's like, shut up, because Euron is there, She just
She
told
might
Euron.
be thinking that.
Right, I agree. We don't know. She doesn't say anything.
No.
But
and also, she might be like, he's so dumb. He wouldn't know.
I do think that's coming around.
Dumb
I think
pirate.
the reason they staged it that way is because I think it's going to come up, and I think it's going to create.
But they didn't.
strife
At least
between Euron and
neither of
Cersei.
us noticed a reaction shot from him, and he was right there.
You're right. I just feel like there's going to come a moment where he's like, "Wait, you just
he's
told
like,
me.
yeah.
How did Tyrion know? Did he know? Did you talk about it last time you met him? And if you did, then that's before we had sex, which means that's not my kid. You lied to me." So I think that might be coming. But in any case, Cersei I would think, would be thinking, I don't want Euron to suspect that this kid isn't his. Shoot him. like even more reason is my point. Self-interest to shoot Tyrion on the spot. The fact that she doesn't was a bit of a surprise, frankly. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I know.
Good on you.
And what did you say? I forgot your prediction about if Tyrion makes it or not.
I guess he does.
Okay.
I didn't. I think he's going to turn in Varys and thus save himself.
Okay.
Will be the way that works. I think he might be. He'll be in hot water with Daenerys. Just even for this, it's going to be found out. The plot to the plot to put Jon on the throne over her is going to be turned, and then she's going to be like, "Were you part of this?" And then he's going to have to be like, "Kinda." But not really. But I changed my mind.
Right. Well,
so it's in that moment.
He was actively not. He never took that position. He said he thought about it, but he never took. He was always fiercely saying. So he could honestly say that I was not in support of it. And maybe you're right. That's how he gets himself out of hot water, by betraying Viserys.
Because if he doesn't say anything about Varys and then Varys overthrows her, it would just be
Viserys.
Pretty horrible. Viserys. Yeah, he comes back. He's the gold off his face. It occurred to me that Missandei could have committed murder suicide. When Cersei's like put her arms around her, she just grab her and jump off the building with her, but she didn't.
No,
she was doing the etiquette of I must be executed because that's the etiquette of this moment.
Yes, exactly.
And so the mountain cuts off her head.
There you go.
Okay, so we see these scorpion things now.
Yes.
They're very accurate. They're long range.
Yeah.
They just screw with Rhaegal big time, and they're now mounted on all along the walls of King's Landing.
Right.
It's a smart defense.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's assume for a second Daenerys, we see her angry. She wants to burn the place down.
Yes.
Cersei wants her to. Cersei's trying to bait her into doing it because she wants her to look like the mad queen. See, like her dad, she wanted to burn the whole city down.
Sure.
She's got all the citizens in there, a lot of collateral damage.
Right.
So even if Daenerys wanted to, though, at this point, it seems like she'd just fly in and get shot down.
Yeah.
So what do you think is how? Let's assume for a second Daenerys goes through with her plan. I don't think she will, but let's assume she did. Right. How would she do it?
Yeah. That's a good question. I feel like one of the things we're going to get in the next episode, and that's supposed to be the big battle episode.
Yes, it
is that Daenerys is so mad that she'll want to attack in force. Because, she often gets hot-headed.
And so we know Jon's army, the Northmen are still, what do you say, a couple of weeks away or something. There's still there's a little bit of time before they get to King's Landing.
Maybe a couple of people on the...
they came by boat.
On the dragon. Get the next bit.
Back to the next bit. It's like a teleporter. Sink. Airlines. Here's some peanuts. Yeah. We have a collection of... videos you can watch.
So I think that she will want to attack, and the only way that I can imagine, because I'm not any battle general or whatever.
Sure.
I feel like they need to get inside and attack the people who are using those bolts.
Which
and the only people we know, the only person I can think of who can do that is Arya. So I don't know if, in the course of we've got to get the mountain there, if they sneak inside and then kill a bunch of people.
Yes, that's a possibility. I feel like if they do the thing of Tyrion doing something like, well, I know the routes in through the sewers or whatever, they've already done that. He already had that plan elsewhere, so it just seems a little weird, redundant if they did it again. So I don't think that's the plan.
Hope not.
I'll just throw out a wild card.
Ooh, wild card.
It's basically based on there's a scene from the trailer. And I think it's probably a misleading scene, frankly, but whatever. There's a scene where it's Euron. He's standing in front of a scorpion, and he's looking into the sky. He can't see, and it's cloudy. And he theoretically, we're hearing a sound of Drogon.
Right. Yep.
And he's like, and then you get the idea that he sees something. His expression changes.
Yeah.
Like, oh, there's the thing.
Yeah.
And then we assume he tries to shoot it or something. Okay. So let's if that's indeed Drogon.
Yes.
And there's still got the scorpions.
Yeah.
I'm throwing this out there.
Woo!
All right.
Woo!
I'm not even sure. I don't think this is actually the thing, but I think this could be. This is in the land of possibilities.
Yeah.
You got Gendry, Mr. Smith guy.
Yeah, sure.
Maybe he made Drogon some armor
through tears.
Through his tears, right? Tears of a clown. Yes, in his pining for Arya, the tears actually help form a better armor.
Ooh.
Tears of a Baratheon form mithril silver.
Sure,
that's a Lord of the Rings reference. All right. But anyway, so maybe Drogon appears. Euron's like, I got you now, but then realizes, oh crap, he's protected. Bunch of armor. I don't know. Anyway, there you go. Okay. That would be kind of cool to see an armored dragon. Yeah. It would.
Now, do you think the last dragon? Make a prediction.
Oh,
does Drogon make it through?
Yes.
Whoa!
Drogon makes it through.
Okay.
Drogon survives.
All right. Interesting.
Yeah, we did see Jon leave his wolf behind this time. Maybe there's a symmetry of that where she has to leave her dragon behind. I don't know. Hey, you can see like the CGI animators for the show going, and the wolf's going north, right? We just get rid of it. We don't have to keep animating this wolf beside him the whole time.
Although apparently, it's an actual wolf that they composite in to be bigger.
Okay.
So that wouldn't be that difficult, actually.
Okay. All right. So you're saying it's actually not even that hard. They're just like, we don't want to do it.
Yeah.
Okay. So, the wolf whimpers. I would have liked to have maybe seen a shot of him at least like petting the wolf on the head or something. Or, good wolf, you get him, ghost. Instead he's like, you're good. You go north.
If Bolt had come out and killed the wolf, I would not have,
Right. There does seem to be a portion of the fan base that's really rabidly pro-ghost.
Yeah.
I'm assuming it's because, in the books, the direwolves are the symbol of the House of Stark, but it just, in the show, it hasn't played that big a part, and so it's kind of, it would be maybe unnecessarily fan servicey to keep the wolf hanging out.
Yeah.
When it's like, this isn't really the plot. The plot has nothing to do with the wolf.
Not in my opinion.
So Tormund, the Tormund goes back north as well. That's why he's going with the wolf.
Yes.
Do we think we've seen the last of Tormund?
I mean, if I had to make a guess, I think maybe he'll show up in the next battle. I just imagine him coming in, like
Little Deus Ex Machina thing?
Yeah.
The Northmen, the wildlings.
Yeah. Oh, we have no way of winning. Oh, here come the wildlings.
Maybe. I think it's more likely that he won't be in that battle, but he will show up for like a coronation.
Oh.
Perhaps King John and the wedding of John and Daenerys.
Yeah, if you're going to have anybody sort of poke John in the ribs about the, about the wedding night, it should be Tormund.
Tormund and his giants baning. We also saw Sam and Gilly are not going on to the battle.
No.
And Gilly has a little baby Sam.
Yeah, baby Sam.
An actual baby Sam.
Baby John.
Baby John. Good point. They already have a baby Sam. That's Craster's kid. This will be Sam's kid called John.
Yeah.
That's
all the luck.
Yeah. So I don't think we've seen the last of them though either. I think we're going to come back around. And all right, well, let's talk the scene that we both agreed was a little odd, a little awkward, which was the Bronn scene.
Sure.
So we knew that Bronn was going to show up with the crossbow at some point.
We knew it
because Qyburn gave him River Run. Like if you killed I don't know if he had to kill both of them or just one.
Both.
He had to kill both. I mean, he was asked to kill both. But what if he killed one? Would he get like nothing out of the deal?
Who knows?
You get half a River Run?
Who knows?
You get a tower?
I don't know.
But in any case, he was offered River Run to kill the Lannister boys. And so they're hanging out by themselves in a bar, and he shows up. All right. Anyway, fine. Sure. So he holds a crossbow on him, and Tyrion rightly goes like, "Hey, remember when I said I'd double anything you get?" It's like, "Well, it's a double river run." It's like, "Well, Highgarden." And they like, "Oh, you wouldn't kill us," and he shoots the wall next to him. They're like, "Oh, I guess he would kill us." Okay, I guess you get Highgarden then. But and then they all asked. Tyrion asked him to join in the fight. He's like, "I'm not a fighter anymore. I'm still killing.
Yeah,
but I'm not. I'm not fighting."
Right.
And then he leaves.
Yep. Stay alive.
Okay.
He says.
Right. Stay alive.
Stay alive.
Stay alive. I don't know what to make of that scene, really. I would say there was zero chance he was going to kill them. And that you're not going to kill us. Shoot the wall. I don't buy it. I don't buy that Bronn. For instance, he's the one that's almost died himself, pushing Jaime away from the dragon's breath.
Right.
I don't. It just doesn't. It doesn't resonate with me. And if they really thought, because there's a moment there where you get the idea that Jaime and Tyrion are considering, would he kill us? And if you really thought that, you'd be like, all right, as soon as he leaves the room, kill that guy. Don't let him leave. He wants to murder us if we don't give him Highgarden. Like, if he was really extorting them for Highgarden, I don't think they would let that stand. I think they're just like, he's our friend. After this is all over, we'll see what we can do for him, but we're probably not going to give him Highgarden, and he probably knows that.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's just it was just awkward the way it played
One thing you're sort of blowing over is the Lannisters always pay their debts.
They do.
Yeah, and also too, they already have a established pattern. Somebody offers you money to kill me, I will double it. So even though
but has he ever actually paid him? I don't even know. Maybe he has, but
I would assume that he has. The Lannisters always pay their debts.
Well, they keep promising this guy castles. They promised him castles earlier, and he hasn't gotten one yet. So it's always like, after this war, you'll get a thing. After the next thing, you'll get a thing. You'll get a bigger thing after this war.
True, but then that's more motivation for him to want to kill him.
I don't know. I'm just not buying the threat. That's all. Like, oh, if you don't give me Highgarden, I'm going to show up and kill you. Like, what? I mean, honestly, let's just play that out. Episode 6, they're done with the fight. Yeah. He shows up with the crossbow.
Again, you want them to betray you want them to sell it out. You would never do it, but they've already established that
it would be a total wreck of his character. I would just think the character arc that they built for him is kind of like he's a morally gray guy, but he's not gonna be like, I don't get Highgarden, and he shoots Jaime in the face. Like it would be like, what?
Well, okay, so you're arguing that it
doesn't make sense.
Plausible that they would welsh on the deal when there's actually nothing in it for either one of them to like. It's not like they want Highgarden.
Oh, okay. I mean, in other words, you'll just say they'll give him Highgarden.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah, we could have a shot of him just sitting in Highgarden looking unhappy.
Yeah, unhappy.
Because he's probably he'll never be happy, right?
Well, I don't know about that. It seemed like, he's perfectly happy not to be in battle anymore. Okay. All right. He's always wanted money.
I think it would be funnier if he was there and he was just
before he got the offer,
I guess I'll get some more wine.
To go kill, he looked like he was trying to have a good time to me.
Okay. Good point. I'm just saying, I'm not buying the actual extortion that's happening here.
Oh, okay.
And so, yeah. Although that crossbow means he's going to do something with it. It's kind of the Chekhov's gun.
No, he shot it.
Well, that's true. He already shot it once. Like, who would he kill with that crossbow? If not one of the Lannisters?
Yeah, good question.
Like, I think he will show up in the battle. Kill Qyburn. Oh, because Qyburn gave it to him.
Yeah, see, there you go.
And now we give it back to you.
Yeah.
Boom, in spades.
There you go.
I get Highgarden for this.
I remember the name of Qyburn.
Nice job. Qbert. It was all right, there we go. Bronn shoots Qyburn with the crossbow.
There you go.
During the battle, so next episode.
Yeah, I'm not really, well played by the actor, but yeah, I won't cry for the character.
For Qyburn?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, he's pretty sinister and creepy.
Yes, he is.
Creepy guy. All right.
Necromancer.
I think those are my main points.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. So there we go. That is the episode. We'll be back talking about episodes 5 and 6. Join us for that.
Yeah.
And thanks for watching, everybody. Bye now.